This video is sponsored by EA. Hey there troops, it's me TheTacticalBrit, and recently I've been diving into a lot of tactics and getting into the nitty-gritty of Battlefield 5, and this has actually been very helpful for two reasons. One, the video I'm going to bring you today will teach you how to dominate and conquer the battlefield. And two, it's actually been good practice for me because I will be taking part in a 64-player tournament called Battlefield Beta Squads this Saturday. Since the start of the beta on September 4th and for everybody on September 6th, I have been training and preparing for September 8th, where I will be up against some of the best Battlefield players in the world. This is happening at 8 PM CEST, which is 7 PM UK time. And at the end of this video today, there will be a short snippet showcasing everything that's going down. So, engagements in Battlefield 5. Well, an engagement is pretty simple. You guys will come across enemies, opponents of various different capabilities, numbers, be it vehicular or infantry based. And engagements in game are a combination of gunplay, decision making, and movement. And this is something today that I'm going to be teaching you about because honestly, it can be so much better for you if you introduce a few new tips into your play category. Engagements in Battlefield 5 are unlike any other Battlefield game. The unforgiving time to kill, the lack of ammunition, the lack of health, and the much superior movement system available in Battlefield 5 means that picking and choosing your engagements is a vital part of the game, and not only that, when you are in an engagement, utilizing everything to your maximum potential is even more so important. Now, when it comes to picking and choosing in engagements, this is something that has changed drastically. Previously in Battlefields, it was very easy to go gung-ho. It was very easy to run into anything and just sort of win and conquer with more or less no problems whatsoever. This is no longer the case in Battlefield 5. You seriously have to consider what it is you're doing in-game, and this currently comes down to how much ammunition you have, how much health you have, and whether or not you have the drop on an opponent. So, ammo and health is relatively simplistic. If you have one magazine, you'll know exactly how many bullets you will hit or miss, and how many enemies you're up against, and when you do the math quickly enough, it's whether or not you're worth going into that engagement. The second one really is simply whether or not you have the drop. And the drop refers to having a sheer advantage over your enemy opponent, whether it's a verticality advantage, whether it's a positional advantage with greater cover, or it's an advantage because you're simply catching them by surprise. This is the most fundamental and vital element of choosing engagements in Battlefield 5. If you have the drop on somebody with sufficient ammo and health, you should always take it, and you should always ensure that you're accounting for extra enemies, accounting for the area you're in, and potentially even the sound you're making within that area that could attract other enemy players, and then looking towards entry and exit points. The only time you should enter an engagement is in any of these two given scenarios, the first one being you making the decision to do so, and the second being ones that are forced upon you. And the ones that are forced upon you tend to be the trickiest, but you can simply make the most out of these situations when they happen. If you're caught out in the open, you can zigzag run, you can throw down smoke, or even lay down suppressive fire to improve your odds in the engagement and likely improve the outcome of the result. Alongside all of this, you can also do very simplistic things like utilizing the movement system. Diving, crouching, and everything in between is enough to throw your enemy off. If you suddenly encounter an enemy at close range, hitting the crouch button very quickly will put you into a position that they will not recognize or realize as they're aiming for your central mass when you're standing. Alongside that, you can play around with movement and the positioning you're in. One thing I like to do quite frequently is something I call a play fake, and this is sort of what you do in NFL and NBA, but it's besides the point. I try and commit a run route to one direction and then double back on it to kind of confuse the enemy. So, for example, if I'm standing behind a concrete pillar or a window, I'll run towards that window, then quickly dive, crouch, or run back away to sort of give the enemy the presumption that I will be coming from that direction. And then because he still presumes I'm coming from that direction, I will back off, reroute, and take a different attack approach. This is something that works really successfully, and it's probably one of the best tricks and maneuvers I have in the book. The last big tip I have about engagements is playing towards your strengths, and I cannot stress this enough in Battlefield 5 because classes are very much balanced in certain ways now. If you're an assault player or a medic, you're going to want to be getting up close and personal depending on the weapon you're using. If you're using rifles or snipers, range is your friend, and if you're using LMGs, cover and bipodding is certainly a strong point. But honestly, engagement ranges are something that will dictate a lot of what you do. And the video clip you're seeing today even is me running around with a stem like an absolute bastard man at the speed of light, getting as close to players as humanly possible to ensure that I have the best possible engagement outcomes. So that's about it from me today, troops. Please enjoy this clip of the Battlefield 5 beta squads, and yeah, throw your support behind me this September 8th, which is the Saturday. I'm probably going to be one of the handful of Battlefield players who you guys will know as somebody in the community, and I really would appreciate the support for everyone globally in the Battlefield community that will be taking part, and hopefully you'll see me tear some shit up. As always, folks, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you again soon in another video.